Open your eyes. Reality is but an illusion. All those crises I quietly put out, you have no
They'll be coming in
idea.
30 seconds. Stay strong.
Doctor Strange, wow.
We're in this together, Tandy Bowen. Get the stars out of your eyes and let us fight.
Wow, all business.
The fate of many worlds is at stake. It is a mighty quest.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1! You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks.
I hope this is important.
These mechanicals will medicine. I purge the darkness. A shortcut to space.
Anyone willing to help?
I put a portal to flank him from the back.
And Jason. In franchise, Jason yes. Ready for knowledge and single the franchise showing. It's funny to think about these things, right? I feel like I myself Jason's head tragedies at the community living United otherwise excuse games. Like was such an incredible take on event that other films have been made about.
Hands are shaking again. Focus.
To take over. Yes, publicity about the same. What happened there? We wanted to have no way. The makeup and effects legend, who initially exited the franchise after just the first movie, signed up for the final chapter specifically with Jason's
I am ready to put on a show!
By the eye of Agamotto!
Yes, it's Thompson and Heights best here. Almost like this little bit of killer.
It's spider time!
Just as the analysis like many conversations with the students of Paramount revolving around the pregnancy that he didn't want to write down the pressure of Paramount to hire someone else for the job. They had to think that he was the guy for both roles for some reason. Of the laziness and looking for somebody else. What might be the final chapter was eventually sent life.
There's still a chance to stop them!
Then he worked out the story.
My body is with you. One wouldn't win without the other.
All of this
This is real firepower!
all and a writer's full of America. When it came down to it, we're going to the situation. Look, we don't have to think of this whole thing. I just find it funny.
They hit
There
each
it
other.
was.
Might be a good time to stop that.
Situation. Jonesy, yeah, whatever. I'll handle it. I'll be quiet. This is right from the side. As you may find out, Friday the 13th isn't constant. It's happening. Yeah, story-wise is pretty much
Hands are shaking again. Focus.
Some connections to the prior films and a couple of characters that you might find interesting, but don't walk into the final chapter looking for any sort of revelation. You're not about to find out what causes the fake ending dream sequences. There will be no mention of Pamela Voorhees regrowing her head for the end of part 3. Minor said it doesn't matter, it makes sense. Just go. Let's take a look at
Strength for
I am ready to put on a show.
This is real firepower!
By the eye of Agamotto!
Aaron Anderson, eventually find out it's the brother of little callback to
So much bullshit, man.
Can't expect to win them all.
is concerned, overarching story, there's a new teenager shows up in the camp. Crystal Lincoln, Jason Gilmore. He's big and tough, and he's looking to avenge his sister, and he doesn't. Jason chops him out just like he would anyone else. Trish and Tommy are the only ones left. And Tommy, discovering a news facial clipping earlier with an artist's depiction of Jason as a boy, recreates the image in order to trick Jason. If this sounds familiar,
The right heroes could make all the difference.
13 part 2. So how does Jason
Open your eyes.
come on a
Reality
machete
is
to
but
the
an
head?
illusion.
As having his skull split at the temple wasn't enough, falling onto and sliding down
that's what
the
I
blade
have to
is
do.
absolutely grotesque. What over now? When Tommy notices Jason's fingers twitching, he goes berserk. It's like Mark Hamill pointed out on that Nazi in the picture. Have you ever seen that? Anyway, in the aftermath, Trish is
The
recovering
time
on
entanglement is a vexing
explicit
problem,
becomes
even
abundantly
for the
clear that
Sorcerer
what is
Supreme.
has changed. Ask
We'll be
yourself,
coming in 30 seconds.
who saw
Stay
this
strong.
movie in 1984? Would you have been satisfied with the conclusion? I was born in 1990. By the time I saw this movie, I was well aware of the fact that it was not actually a final chapter. So I cannot possibly answer the question. I would say, though, that despite stepping on the gas and rushing through one of the stories of these films,
Battle starts in 5,
these songs. I
3,
can't wait to get to the finish
2,
line.
1.
There's just not a lot of stories to tell.
You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks.
Chapter is my favorite in that type of franchise. I really enjoy this, and I'm killing right now. Exactly how it is. First of all, Jason is awesome. Blasting through the cabin door like a man.
I have not seen so many
Yes,
spiders.
down the middle. Looking at it like, oh, is top tier. His face is ugly. It's at this moment that I would put over Ted, like, man underneath the hockey mask this time out. You won't find Ted making throws. That's not disrespectful. Because the man thing is making throws. You want to put this up right there or something. Why don't I my name on this piece of shit? Keep it out.
Come on, brothers. Come
Better
on.
stop that vehicle.
Most notably over the scene where Samantha is killed.
You know a word I don't like?
Judy Aronson
Nuance.
played
Hands are
Samantha.
shaking again. Focus.
Yes, almost literally, seeing as though she's completely naked. She requested they take a break multiple times and informed several people that she was so cold and hurt. And the director just hit her with the, yeah, hold on, you're doing great.
Help,
Eventually,
friends.
Better stop that vehicle.
quit if Judy wasn't taken out of the water.
Still a chance to stop them.
This one like now like
Friends, gather around.
while Judy Aronson is such a good town. So that's my
They hit a
excellent
checkpoint.
work.
Now might be a good time to stop
That's
them.
why Ted White is my favorite. So even if he didn't want his name attached to his project, even without filming it, I'd like to thank his friends. He has the stunt double for John Wayne. Keeping the stunts for
Better
next.
stop that vehicle.
Still a legend. Rest in peace, dude. Moving away from Jason, let's get into Tommy Jarvis. Who the hell would have thought that the
Hands
first
are
ever
shaking again.
recurring
Focus.
character, the first ever nemesis for Jason Voorhees, would be a little kid?
They've made it halfway. Stop them.
Corey Feldman, basically at the very start of his career.
There's still a chance to stop them.
He's not only got an awesome collection of masks and weird creatures, but he makes them himself.
Hands are
Might be
shaking again.
unrealistic, but
Focus.
it's a stupid movie. Don't worry.
They hit a checkpoint. Now might be a good time to stop them.
With that alien mask on. Are you kidding? I did weird stuff like this constantly at his age. I thought Tommy Jarvis was cool as hell. His creation of these masks is indeed an ode to Tom Sweet. Tommy Jarvis. Nice little Tom Sweet had always was set exposed it's the studio line. Tommy Jarvis, right? He's an inventor. What did he do so fitting and diaper?
By the shades of the seraphim, I
Now
read.
or never. Stop them. Better stop that vehicle.
Pointing gun at like a little 28-hour
Can't even fucking do my special, bro.
I am ready to put on a show.
Badass. Did it, nigga.
By the eye of Agamotto.
I can't wait to go. Great fucking second.
Ish.
For years. And amongst this footage is and being abandoned. Jason's death. My God, this is so insane. It's almost unbelievable. Look at all of that blood and holy shit. The hospital is still completely 180-degree breaking of the neck. It's out of control. The amount of time that they wanted to stay on the writhing, screaming pain of the victims is ridiculous. And it was ridiculous on purpose. Joe Zito said they started out submitting cuts that he knew were were not going to get a pass. And they would make the smallest and slightest cuts he possibly could, over and over, until the NBA allowed it to run nationwide. That's a clever director right there. And again, for the YouTube audience, I am sorry that I can't show it for you here. It's totally out of my control. But here's what I will say. All the footage that I'm pulling is from the Friday the 13th Blu-ray box set. Go ahead and throw that thing in your cart and just be patient. It retails for about $150, but I said be patient because it goes on sale all the time. I got mine in 2022 for $79. That is a steal. And yes, I was planning on doing the series all the way back in August of 2022. I nearly did this last year, but instead I went for the history of UFC video games. If you haven't watched that yet, I highly recommend you do, because I think you'll enjoy it. What you might not enjoy are some of the things that we're going to dive into right now. Writer Barney Cohen had an idea for Jason's death to come seconds after he grabbed Trish and started rubbing around her titties. He got a kick out of the idea that, in his words, Jason finally found something to do with these girls other than killing them, and that distraction leads to his demise. Joe Zito said no. Hard. Nobody wants to see Jason become human. Nobody wants to see Jason become, as Barney Cohen described him, someone sympathetic. He's Jason. No, that's it. Good call. Another good call comes in with yet another dream sequence ending being dropped. Round of applause, man. Wow. Somehow, some way, a Friday the 13th director resisted the urge to close the show with a throwaway dream. This was another piece of once thought lost content discovered in the modern style. Trish's mom is sounds of life or something. Jason Strikes. Yes, of course. But this doesn't exactly scream final chapter, does it? Friday the 13th, the final chapter, released on April 13, 1984. If you're keeping score, this is 4 years in a row of hard work that a Friday the 13th film in theaters. This release schedule is extremely impressive in hindsight. On a budget of $2.2 million, the final chapter pulled in $33 million on the worldwide box office. Just barely behind the earnings of Part 3, and still a massively profitable picture. Critics hated it. I almost feel like there's no point even mentioning this anymore, because critics always shit on Friday the 13th. But forget the critics. What did you think? Personally, if I'm going to recommend a movie in this series, if somebody comes to me and they say, which Friday the 13th should I watch? I'm going with Part 4. It's the perfect recommendation because the kills are great, the characters are fun. It doesn't matter if you've never seen 1, 2, or 3 because there's barely a story in the first place. With the final chapter written in the book, Friday the 13th, it was time to lay the series to rest. Right? Wrong. Just 1 year later, yeah, they didn't even take a break. 1 year later, in 1985, Friday the 13th, A New Beginning, hit the big screen. How exactly do you follow up the best film in the Friday the 13th franchise yet? How about it's the worst film in the Friday the 13th franchise yet? Oh my god.
And they're all great.
You dumb! I'll just go help somebody else instead. I'll see you later.
Hurt my ass. I feel a lot better after you shit.
Look, if you're a huge fan of Part 5 and you cannot handle fair criticism, either skip this portion of the video or turn it off entirely, because I am not about to pretend that this movie is any good, because it's not. And I'm not the only person who feels that way. Producer Frank Mancuso Jr., the guy who wanted to close the series out with Part 4, the guy who was far less involved after Part 4, still, to this day, calls Part 5 his least favorite in the entire franchise. Dick Leon, the actor who plays Roy, and we'll visit the characters in a second, said, I didn't know until I saw Part 5 what a piece of trash it really was. So it's not just me, guys. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. So what went wrong? How did this happen? Well, Joe Zito has admitted that the ending of Part 4 with Corey Feldman looking all crazy, there was a part of him that hoped that Paramount might call him and say, hey Joe, what do you think about a Part 5? Maybe Part 6? There's still heat on the phone. Well, there's never called Joe. Instead, they chose Danny Steinman as the director of Part 5. Steinman's career kicked off with High Rise, a film that some might call hardcore. And when you watch the new beginning, you can tell exactly what background he's from. Not that I can show any of it here on YouTube. No, I can't blur it out. That's how strict they are on nudity. But Friday the 13th Part 5 features the most gratuitous, pointless nudity yet in the entire series. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a heterosexual man who enjoys female nudity quite a bit. But this isn't one of those movies. This isn't a police movie or anything like that. It's a horror movie. And when your actresses, like Rebecca Wood, who plays Tina, says her father scene was unscripted and pushed on her, they didn't shoot. It's been uncomfortable. These are real people, young actresses who don't really realize that they can say no. And some of what you see here in Part 5 kind of crosses the line of sleaziness, especially if you know the background. None of the actors auditioning even knew what it was. You see, during the casting process and pre-production, the film was codenamed Repetition. John Shell, who plays Tommy Jarvis, we'll get there, went and volunteered at a mental hospital for months to prepare for this film. He was coming up with all this backstory for his character to add depth to the performance. When he found out what it was that he landed, he was torn on whether or not he should even keep the job. To say A New Beginning was plagued by production issues might be accurate, but it wasn't due to technical difficulties or outside interference as much as it was the cocaine on set and the complete lack of overall direction. So that's a lot of information before we even dive into the story, but yeah, it is what it is. Friday the 13th Part 5 wasn't just stuck as a movie, but it was a fairly negative experience for many of the people involved in the project. Well, let's do it. Let's get into the plot of A New Beginning, because there was an attempt at a story here. We've got our first recurring character, and listen, some might even say that this was an attempt at evolution. Tommy Jarvis, in a thunderstorm, waltzes out to the graveyard to get a look at Jason Reeves. Oh, it was so crazy. Before he can do anything, no one can do anything. Two knuckleheads show up with shovels to take him